Hey everyone! Today I am diving into a crucial topic, finding the safest car for new or young driver dummies. It's not just about affordability, it's also about making sure the new or young driver dummy is protected on the road. Here are some of the do's, don'ts, and essential features I would consider. First up, I will not buy young driver dummy a small and lightweight car.
But you can't compare a small car with a good rating to a larger car with the same rating. That's because size and weight are important in how the crash turns out.
The star rating is kind of bullshit. They adjust the star rating depending upon the size of the car. If you're in a little car, get hit by a big car, the big car will win. A low star rating in a big car hitting a high star rating in a small car is screwed.
All other things being equal, people in larger, heavier cars will fare better in their crashes than people in smaller, lighter cars. In a crash between a small, lightweight car and a heavier one, the smaller car is driven backwards. That means higher forces on the occupants of the smaller car and lower ones on the occupants of the bigger one. The Toyota Yaris gets a good rating in our frontal offset test. In a head-on crash with another mini car at these speeds, it would do well. But as you can see, against the larger and heavier Camry, the occupant compartment basically collapsed. We have buckles in the roof here, and the door sill is bent toward the ground. In a real-world crash like this, the driver of the Yaris would sustain serious injuries. By comparison, the driver of the Camry would fare much better.
And what about Grandpa's old car? It's nice, but no one likes snorting steering wheels, so it is a no from me. I will most definitely skip buying young driver dummy a high-performance car. Yes, young driver dummy would be the envy of the neighborhood and look so cool in that sports car, and so would I, but it is not ideal for inexperienced drivers. I would not give a newly qualified dummy employee the fastest heavy machinery that could kill him and others, so it's a no to the sports car. Here you can see the difference on the level of kinetic energy you are likely to experience at 64 kilometers per hour, 80 kilometers per hour, and 90 kilometers per hour. So I would instead choose a mid-sized or larger sedan. These offer a good balance of weight and size, which should translate into better crash protection. Mid-sized SUVs are also good options, but I would avoid anything that's too large and hard to handle. I would insist on electronic stability control. It helps drivers maintain control on slippery roads and curves. Anti-lock brakes are also critical for reliable stopping power. I would also look for vehicles with at least average emergency handling and braking performance in safety tests. Finally, I would check the car's crashworthiness and safety ratings. I would look for vehicles with good ratings in frontal, side, and where applicable, rollover tests. I would pay careful attention to the vehicle's scores and crashworthiness performance as tested by my regional new car assessment program, NCAP.
One of the main reasons why we need global NCAP is that cars which are apparently the same, they look the same, are in fact very different. And the risk of being killed in the lower standard one can be as much as 3 times as great. The person who's killed or injured or has their child killed or injured in the low quality car, you're really saying to them, or the industry is saying to them, you don't matter as much. Now that's an outrageous thing to do.
Crash test dummies in emerging markets have it much harder than dummies in developed markets. Most newer cars in developed markets include front crash prevention, also known as autonomous emergency braking, AEB, which is a game changer. Young dummy driver is always on his phone and can't resist looking at it when it beeps, which is every 5 seconds, even when driving. So AEB and as much of the other advanced driver assistance systems are essential, although it might not always be available in emerging markets. The IHS has a list of recommended used and new cars for new drivers, which is a good place to start. For new cars, consider IHS's Top Safety Picks. These cars have the latest tech and top crash protection. However, I am not in the US, so I would contact my regional NCAP and ask them to recommend a car based on my or young dummy drivers' specific circumstances. I would do my research, but I would also ask the crash test experts. And no, that's not the salesperson, but the experts at your regional NCAP. So these are some of the do's, don'ts, and essential features I would consider when choosing a car for your young dummy driver as at 2024. By following these tips and contacting our regional NCAP for recommendations, I'm helping young dummy drivers start off with a car that is as safe as possible. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.